ぜ。戻るか。
So we're gonna be hopping back into Tokio's story. I got a bad ending intentionally and took a break, so we're halfway through like the main story, so we shouldn't be too far off. I think this is the right one. We'll find out. All right, we're gonna fight together. I'm not gonna run, we're gonna fight with you. Previously, our friend Takai just got turned into a monster. We never gave him a face, so. But I won't let you bear this burden alone. If this is the only way, they will defeat him together. That word alone was like a dagger to my heart, but I couldn't hide from reality. It took all my strength to say those words, but Kaori understood. All right. Kaori and I were going to take down Takai, though it'd be more appropriate to view him as simply a kaiju. The kaiju noticed Kaori before it saw me. Kaori dashed forward before the kaiju could start running. I followed right on her heels so as not to be left behind. I won't let Tokio endure this pain on his own. I'm sorry. Kaori charged energy into her fist using psychokinesis, and right before she released the blast, I held out my fist next to hers. The energy blast exploded, filling the entire area with a blinding light. Once the light subsided, all that was left of the vector was a small sparkling floating crystal. That's different. It's pink. Hyuga. Took him out without any hesitation, huh? Hyuga's voice was filled with disgust. When we looked up at him, he was scowling at us. You ask how we attack humans? The answer is simple. It's because we hate humans, especially ones like you. Hyuga's eyes burned with hatred as they pierced through me. It was as if defeating Takai had unleashed all his rage. You have to take Hyuga out first. I have a feeling things will get ugly if we don't. Right. However, right as we set our sights on Hyuga, a surprisingly calm voice interrupted us. What are you doing here? We looked over and saw Moravia sauntering onto the scene. Oh. I just had an inkling something interesting would happen. I'm so glad I followed it. I think it's about time for you to retreat. Why do I have to retreat? I haven't even done what I came here for. You look dreadful right now. Hyuga clearly didn't want to follow Miravia's orders, so she tried to search his irritation. What's that supposed to mean? Come on, it's alright, let's get out of here. So Moravia is more powerful than Hyuga. He looks quite overwhelmed. Fine. All of you come with me too, called out to the kaiju that were about to run off. They all mysteriously calmed down, and the entire pack quietly left the colony. We kept a close eye on them as they retreated. Moravia brought up the rear, smiling and waving to us before disappearing through the wall. Was it okay to let them go? I think so. We protected Iota and handled those two by using ourselves would have been tough for us. It's better this way. Kaori then stooped down to the ground. When she straightened up, I saw the flower crystal glittering in her hand. We spoke with the director afterwards to report what happened and answer all his questions. The only area that incurred damage was near the outer wall, and the rest of Iota was unscathed. Repairs to the wall was already resumed. We had lots of reports to send. We had a lot of other reports to send after the battle, so it was dark by the time we returned to our lodging. I took a shower, but I don't really feel like eating, and sleeping isn't in the cards either. I'm sure Tokio's even more wrecked than me right now. He had to fight after staying up all night, and then the director had thanked us for keeping the damage to a minimum. A minimum. That's not how I see it, and I know Tokio would agree with me. Takai had family and friends. They certainly won't think his disappearance is a minor issue. Oh, are you awake? There was a soft knock at the door, and I heard Tokio's voice. He sounded utterly despaired. Despaired? I said it wrong. I am. You can come in. Tokio swung open the door and entered carrying 2 mugs. I made coffee. Would you like some? Sounds great. Thank you. Would you be okay if we talked for a bit? I figured it'd be far worse for either of us to be alone. Tokio nodded in agreement. Wanted to talk too. Sit wherever you like. Thanks. Quiet. We sat down next to each other and fell into a long silence. Tokio had said he wanted to talk, but now he just stared down at his mug without saying any words. I want to ask him something, but I know bringing it up will be painful. But we couldn't stay silent forever, so even though I was nervous, I posed my question. Tokio, why'd you stop me? You pulled me back when I tried to shove Takai out of the way. Tokio answered after a short pause, though he kept his gaze averted. If I hadn't stopped, the kaiju would have hurt you instead. But I have my powers. I could have pushed Takai out of the way and then fired off a counterattack. Not at that range. Your attack would have been too late. Because I didn't push Takai out of the way, pain seized my heart again. As I said those words, Takai had turned into a kaiju, just like Liz. I trailed off as at a loss for words. Finally, Tokio looked into my eyes with a steady, quiet gaze. I thought the kaiju was going to kill you, so I moved without thinking. I know it was selfish, and as Kaori, our leader, it was a mistake. I ended up sacrificing an innocent person because of it. But as myself, as Tokio, I couldn't stand it. I just couldn't bear to see you get hurt. But I still hurt you in the end. I know that if you saw Takai turned into a kaiju, it would remind you of your friend and you would have suffered all over again. I knew for the moment I pulled you back. That's why I told you to run away. Why didn't you? Tokio had been incredibly honest with me, so I told him what I was really thinking about during the battle. I thought you'd suffer if you had to take down Takai by yourself. That's why when I saw what happened to him, I thought it would be worse for you to be alone than for me to be reminded of Liz. You could only do one thing about Takai at that point, so I didn't want to leave you by yourself. I couldn't let you suffer alone. After taking in what I said, Takai quietly asked me a question. Tokio? You were thinking about me and not Takai? Hard to say. What would this man in this flowchart? Let's see. Oh, no, we had a band-aid. Oh, wait, we're still here. I don't think we can get bad ending 2 anymore, though. I just remembered I was going to load up this, but I got so distracted by wanting to see what happened next. All right, let's see. I think it's fair to say that she was thinking about both, but I think the ultimate reason she stayed was Tokyo. So we're going to go with Tokyo. Yeah, that's right. All I could think about was not letting you fight Takai on your own, because I knew it would cause you pain. Tokyo smiled slightly when he heard my answer.
バカだな。前に俺は仲間が害獣になっても冷静に倒せるって言っただろ。
What about if it was me, Tokyo? Anyways, you're so ridiculous. I told you before that I could fight any kaiju, even ones that used to be my
相手が
friend.
大気でも同じことだ。一人で倒すのも平気だったんだよ。
Same thing goes for Takai. I can handle him by
だから
myself.
自分のことだけを考えて逃げればよかったんだ。
So you should have just thought about yourself and gotten far away. I don't think that you're as okay with it as you say you are.
嘘。
Why? Because you look like you're about to cry? Tokyo might have been smiling in that moment, but tears pricked at the back of his eyes. My heart went out for
で
him.
も俺は大気のことを考えても
I'm
涙
not upset about
それ
Takai.
どころかあんたの答えを聞いて少し嬉しいとさえ思った。
I felt happy when you said
俺
what you
があん
did.
たを思ったようにあんたが俺のことを考えてくれた。そのことを一瞬喜んだんだ。
Just a brief moment of joy because you thought about my well-being the same way I thought of yours.
喜んだ後たまらなく嫌になった。自分の手で大気を倒しておいて大気のことを一番に考えてやれない自分のことが
Hated myself for feeling that way. I killed Takai, and yet he wasn't the first thing on my
俺が
mind.
泣きそうに見えるんだとしたらきっとそんな自分自身に気がついたことが
If I look like I'm about to cry, it's because it made me sad realizing that.
自分がどれだけ最低の人間なのか
To realize what a horrible person I am. Tokyo smiled as he said that, which made it all more heart-wrenching. I couldn't help but reach out and grab his arm. You're not a terrible person, Tokyo, and if you are, then I'm the same. I didn't consider Takai first either. All I could do was think of you. It felt like I was facing something ugly within myself. I'd been running away from something since that fateful day, and now it rose up to greet me. The hand that grasped Tokyo's arm began to shake.
違うよ。
No, huh? Aww. Look, they're cute. Oh, I hit the wrong button. That's cute. Why are you wearing that red jacket? Tokyo swept me into his arms before I knew what was happening. I slid perfectly in his warm embrace. A deep sense of comfort washed over me. My heart rate slowed as it began to calm down. Then I heard Tokyo's soothing
あん
voice.
たはさ俺とは全然違うよ。
We are completely different.
あんたが友達を手にかけたことで何に苦しんでいたのかやっと分かったよ。
I finally understand what you've been going through since you were forced to kill your
あん
friend.
たはずっと自分のエゴで友達を手にかけたんじゃないかって思ってたんだろ
We must have thought you killed her out of selfishness.
そんなことはないよ。ずっと一緒にいればあんたがどれだけ思いやりがあって優しい人間なのか。
Spending time with you has shown me what a kind and considerate person you are.
だから今回のことと友達のことを重ね合わせて辛い気持ちになる必要なんかない。
So you don't have to associate what happened today with what happened back
自
then.
分勝手な振る舞いで大気を害獣にしたのもそれを倒したのも全部俺のせいだ。
Everything that led to Takai becoming a kaiju and everything after is
あ
my
んた
fault.
は
You're not to blame. It was as if Tokyo's words slowly sank into my heart and healed my wounds. Mr. Kuromori claimed Tokyo didn't understand others' feelings, but right now, that was the furthest thing from the truth. That's why I'm convinced Tokyo was affected by Takai's death. He truly understands how I feel. I can't imagine that he doesn't think anything about what he did. Tokyo said he felt terrible because what I told him made him happy. But that feeling and what he thinks about Takai are separate. They only knew each other for a short while, but Tokyo seemed to genuinely enjoy being friends with Takai. And when Tokyo had to kill him, there was no way that didn't affect him. That's my 2 cents at least. But I guess he hasn't realized it yet. He told me he didn't understand how others feel, so that might mean he's insensitive to to his own feelings as well. But I also didn't think that was something I should try and make him realize. Instead, I wrapped my arms around him and squeezed back.
お
Wow,
や
I
っぱり
I knew you were
あ
a
んた
kind
は優
person.
しいね
Aww. He looks like Edward Scissorhands. Those words alone couldn't tell me if Takai recognized his own pain or not. Such a weird cut. Hold up, where did I fall asleep? I flew into a panic when I saw Takai was sleeping next to me. Did I just fall asleep after our conversation? I hadn't imagined either of us would have been able to sleep, but I guess exhaustion got the better of us. Plus, the warmth from Takai's embrace was very comforting. I wonder if he felt the same way. I looked at Takai as he slept. Tokyo! I got the sudden urge to touch his hair. His hair got a little curl to it, and it's sticking up a bit, and it looks so soft.
うん
Is it morning? Ah, right as I was about to touch his hair, Tokyo's eyes shot open, startling me. But Tokyo didn't even notice and just lazily stretched his arm out.
俺寝てたのかあんたはちゃんと眠れた
I guess I fell asleep. Did you sleep well, Lee? Yeah, I slept fine. Tokyo doesn't seem fazed by this at all, though not much phases Tokyo in the first place. He was just acting like his regular old self, which made it feel like yesterday was a dream. But it wasn't a dream. There's no denying that. I wished it were a dream, though. Tokyo spoke up, just then interrupting my thoughts.
携帯端末が光ってる
Your phone is flashing. I looked over to see my phone sitting next to the bed and saw I had an email. It's an email from the commander. Did you get one
こっち
too?
にも来てた今日にもシータからの人員が到着するって書いてあるね
He says he sent more personnel from Theta. They'll be arriving
入れ
today.
替わりで帰ってこいか
They'll be replacing us. Before we came here, the commander said he wanted this to be an opportunity to change ourselves. We have changed over the past few days, but I don't know if it's been for the better. I'm definitely closer with Tokyo, but I've also started to feel something new. And yet at the same time, I've made a irreparable mistake. I sacrificed a life that left an indelible scar on both of us. Indelible? I can't do it. So in that sense, we did change. I wish I could have just been glad we came
す
here.
ぐに支度しようかこのタイミングで帰れてよかったよ
Let's pack up. This is great timing, whereas I felt down about the situation. Tokyo seemed surprisingly positive about it. How so?
俺は待機にしたことをなかったことにはしたくない
I don't want to pretend that the incident with Takai never
あいつにし
happened.
てしまったことを償うつもりならここじゃできないんだ一刻も早くシータに戻らないと
If I'm to make it up to him, I can't do it here. I have to go back to Theta as soon as possible. Tokyo was always thinking of one step ahead, which made me feel like I could rely on him. Sounds like you have a plan.
でも今はまだ言えないその時が来たら言うよ
Can't tell you about it right now. I'll let you know when the time comes. I don't want to pretend like nothing happened either. I'm not sure what Tokyo's got up his sleeve, but I want to help any way I can. Not just help, but atone for it. Interesting. Ooh, I just thought about the beads. They have like these special things that make them turn into things. So hers is her little necklace. Are the crystals originally those like flowers and stuff. Transform? I don't know. I'm making this up as I go. A few days after returning from Iota, I hadn't seen Tokyo since we got back. He's not in this room either. He might not even be coming to school. I tried contacting him once, but he just said he was busy doing research. I thought it'd be best to wait for him to contact me, but maybe if I tried one more
秘密
time.
の5人組花園までお越しください
With the secret Faisum, please come to the garden. The commander's voice sounded cheerful over the speaker. He doesn't sound urgent at all. Maybe it's not an emergency, but if he's summoning the blooms, then that means I can see Tokyo. I wanted to make sure he was okay, so I hurried to the command center. When everyone arrived, we were informed that they called us in early thanks to Sina's foresight.
鮮明に見えましたから間違いありませんわ。研究エリアの外壁から怪獣は侵入してきますの。見えた景色からしてここからそう離れてませんわ。
I just thought about this because Sina has foresight, and I just did Hyuga's and Yukonami's stories first, that possibly Sina was having foresight, and that's why she and the rest of the blooms all ended up outside every time. Possibly. The image I saw was clear this time, so there is no mistaking it. The kaiju will infiltrate from the outside of the research district, not far from here.
なるほど。だから指令室で待機するんだね。
I see, that's why we're on
余
standby.
裕があるのはな。研究エリアの人間には知らせてあるんやろ。
It's nice to have time to spare. We notified the people in the research district, right?
ああだが他のエリアにはまだ警報を出していない
Yes, but we haven't issued warnings to the other
余
districts
計
yet.
な混乱を起こすことは避けたいから必ずここで食い止めろよ
We'd like to avoid unnecessary confusion. We want you to stop them.
分かってる。
Understood. Hey, where is Kaori? Did she get contact? Roland the commander arrived a while ago, but Kaori still isn't here.
連絡は来てないけどああほら来たんじゃないかな
She didn't contact me, but here she is.
ごめん、遅れた。
Sorry, I'm late.
遅れるの
Bokuwa.
って珍しいね。ちょっと疲れてる。
This isn't like you at all. You look tired. Harika was right. Corey's face was paler than usual. I moved towards her, concerned. Have you been sleeping enough?
調べ物が忙しかっただけだよ。睡眠はとってるから心配しないで。
We've been working with research, but I'm getting enough sleep. You don't have to worry. Her parlor begged to differ, so I wasn't going to stop worrying anytime soon. Maybe I should have waited for Tokyo to contact me. Maybe I shouldn't have waited. Once this mission is over, I'll ask him what he's researching and how I can help.
データみたいだぞ
Looks like they're here. Ro was keeping an eye on the security feed and alerted us as the kaiju's presence. We refocused our attentions on the mission. Let's do it. Oh, she looks scared. That's concerning. There weren't that many kaiju this time. We fought them off as usual, figuring we could easily stop them from entering other districts. I was worried I wouldn't be able to face them because of what happened to Takai, but it turns out I could still fight. Kaori's acting strange though. Her attacks lack their usual oomph, so I hurried over to her side. Kaori, what's going on? Are you tired? Is it because of Takai? I was concerned she was freezing up like I did before, but Kaori just shook her head.
そういうわけじゃないんだけど。
That's not exactly it. She's in no state to fight alone. I have to back her up. Take the lead? I'll take point, so you can back me up. Kaori started with surprise at my suggestion. Are you sure? I'll be fine as long as you're with me. I know I can do it. Dude, I didn't check flow. My flow, can this have a bad ending? No. Oh no. It's one of 3 endings. We'll see. Their friendship levels way low. I'm probably gonna get a really weird ending. Although I've been extremely surprised by the way the thing decides what you're getting, so who knows. As long as you're with me, I know I can do it. I tried to stress to her that I wasn't overextending myself, and she seemed to
わか
understand.
ったじゃあマインドオペレートをかけるから攻
I'll
撃をお
cast
願い
Hypnoptis, and you can go on offense. Got it. All became quiet once the last kaiju fell.
食い止められたえ
We did it.
え害獣が侵入したのもこの場所だけみたいですわね
We certainly did. Moreover, the kaiju only managed to attack
それは
here.
良かったんやけど香りは平気なん
That's all well and good, but Kaori, are you alright? Though the mission ended without issue, everyone was thinking about the same thing. We all turned Kaori and saw that she was out of breath.
大丈夫ちょっと調子が出ないだけ
I'm fine, I'm just not in peak condition. And more serious than that, fighting alongside her showed me that she was tiring quickly. I couldn't help but worry about her.
全力を出し切った感じに見えるけど今日の任務はそれほど酷なものじゃなかった
You look like you're firing on all cylinders, but this mission wasn't that
イオタで
taxing.
の任務の疲れもまだ残ってるんじゃない
Maybe you're still tired from your mission,
君は
Iota?
どう
How are you? I think I fought as usual. How about you? I think I fought as usual, to be honest. Kaori's comms rang as I was speaking to Haruka. I assume it was the commander. Once the call ended, Kaori's face hardened with
みん
determination.
なはこのまま帰っていいって私は司令と二人で話があるから司令室
You're
に
all
戻るよ
dismissed. I have to speak with the commander about something, so I'm going back to the command center. Oh dear. Dun dun. The next day, I tried to contact Tokio after the battle, but he said he was going to bed. I'm awfully worried. I want to talk with him, but where could he be? I headed to Tokio's class when lunchtime rolled around, but he wasn't there. The only leaves one other place. I hope he's here. I opened the door to look inside and immediately found Tokio. I knew it, but is he sleeping again? When I moved closer, I could make out his gentle breathing. It reminded me of the morning after we'd fallen asleep together, and Iota. His hair is all messy again. I wonder if he'll wake up if I try to touch it. I reached out to touch his soft hair, but unlike before, he didn't wake up. He's really out of it. He must be exhausted. I waited a little longer, but Tokio showed no signs of waking up. I started to get anxious. Lunch is almost over, so maybe I should wake him. Tokio, it's time to wake up. Tokio?
あれどうしているの夢
What are you doing here? Am I dreaming? This is reality. It's time to wake up. Tokio was apparently still half asleep and reached out to touch my hair.
本当だちゃんと
That doesn't count as a scene, right? Because it's the... No, it doesn't. Okay, cool. Gonna say, you're not gonna count that as me getting a cutscene. You're right, you really are here. Tokyo continued to stroke my hair as if it were proof of my
あん
existence.
たがそばにいるとなんだか落ち着く
It's calming to have you next to me. He's acting a little weird, but maybe he's still waking up. His soft, gentle gaze was so arresting I didn't know how to respond. But his hands felt so nice running through my hair I wasn't going to brush him away. That feels surprisingly good. I suppose he can keep doing it for now. Just then, Tokyo spoke up, though he didn't stop stroking my hair.
俺さ超能力が使えなくなりそうなんだ
I think my powers are going away. Why? I was completely taken aback, and Tokyo stared intently at me as he posed the next question.
あんたは超能力に変化があったりしないの
Have your powers changed at all? How so? I didn't understand what he meant, but I thought back over yesterday's mission, nothing strange had happened then. I don't think they have. Upon hearing my answer, Tokyo moved his hand from my hair to my cheek. The warmth from his fingertips left a trail of heat on my cheek. My ears got hotter by the second as Tokyo continued speaking, though he sounded disappointed.
ほほこんなに暑いのに俺と同じ気持ちじゃないのかな
Your face feels hot, but I don't think you feel the same as me. What do you mean? Feel the same? I had no clue what he was talking about and was starting to feel embarrassed as he traced a path along my cheek, then he abruptly
とにか
stopped.
く 俺は超能力が消えかけてる。このままだといずれ使えなくなると思う。
My powers are fading. I think I'll lose them completely at this rate.
でも使えなくなる前にやりたいことがあるんだ。
But there's something I have to do for Takai before that happens. Will you help me? Something for Takai. When I heard those words, I realized that this was what Tokio had been researching all this time. I think blind trust is the route to go, but let's see. Of course, I'll help you. I responded without hesitation, and Tokio smiled.
ありがとう。
Thank you.
実はもう一人協力っていうか話を聞いてもらおうと思ってる人がいるんだ。
I need another person's help. It's more I want to tell them. Who's the other person? Though I had a sneaking suspicion I knew who it was.
俺が考えた計画を実行に移す前に親友であるあいつには知っておいてほしいんだ。
Ayumi, I want him to know before I put my plan into action. He's my best friend.
俺が何を考えて行動するのかを。歩むとあんたにはきちんと話しておきたいから。
He needs to know what I'm
放課後に
thinking
なったらもう一度ここへ来て。
and why I'm doing it. Come back after class and I'll tell you then. All right, I'll be here immediately after class. It sounded like a complicated plan from the way he talked about it. I'm worried about him losing his powers, but if that's true, then he has to get this done quickly. Anxiety and confusion gripped my mind as I headed to my afternoon classes. Bum, bum. Once school let out, I headed to the chem lab and found Tokio and Ayumi already there. But you got here fast. Did you not go to class or
最後
something?
の授業は自習だったからちょっとフライングした。
My last period's study hall, so I got a head
僕
start.
も同じだよ。ずっと時雄の様子は気になってたから、
Same
話
here.
があるなら早く聞きたいと思って。
I've been worried about Tokio, so I came immediately when I heard he wanted to talk. The way Ayumi said that reminded me of Haruka. Haruka was worried about Kaori the whole time yesterday. From what I saw, Tokio had barely spoken with Ayumi since returning from
じゃあ
Iota.
話を始めてもいいんだけどその前に一応はっきりさせておいた方がいいか。
I'm ready to get started, but first I just want to clarify
は
something.
るかの正体をあんたにばらしたことは歩むも知ってる。
Ayumi knows that I told you about Haruka's true identity. That's right. This is the first time I've talked to Ayumi about him being Haruka.
改めて言われると、話しやすいような、話しにくいような、
It's not the easiest thing to talk about, even if you know.
そういうことだから、はるかと話すときと同じ感じでいいよ。
In any case, I know what's going on, so you can just talk as if you're speaking to Haruka. Okay, sure. I wasn't sure I'd be able to talk to him that way with him right in front of me, but I figured being less formal would be a good start.
それじゃあまずは歩むにイオタであった出来事を話すよ。
Let me tell you what happened in Iota. I think they said Iota. That's what he just said. Ayumi. Tokyo proceeded to summarize how we met Takai and our battle with Hyuga.
なるほど。また目の前で人間が害獣になるところを見たんだな。
We saw someone turn into a kaiju again.
そのことについてはこの後もう少し話すけど先にヒューガのことを話しておきたい。
I'll go back to the point, but I want to discuss Hyuga first.
シータに戻ってきてから俺はヒューガについて調べてたんだ。
I started looking to him after we got back. You did? I'd been quiet until now, but couldn't hold back my surprise at that bit of
そう
information.
だよ。あんたはあの戦いでヒューガが口にした言葉が気にはならなかった？
Didn't what he say bother you? What he said. Flashback. I bet you work in the da-da-da.
上の奴らに命じられるままにやってるの
Cause you're
か。
ordered to. You're nothing more than puppets. If you ain't got free will, you ain't no different than a kaiju. Anyways. Yeah, that was a strange thing to say. I didn't really understand what he was getting at, but it sounded personal, like something had happened in his past. That's the best way I can describe
う
it.
ん。俺にもそう聞こえた。それに俺に向けてきた強烈な敵意。
That's how it sounded to me. It felt like he was aiming all his hostility directly at me.
今まで戦った時に感じたものとはちょっと違ったよ。
Seemed different from previous
つまり
fights.
ヒューガはブルームズのこと、もっと言うなら研究者たちの暗部に通じているんじゃないかと推測したんだな。
I just noticed Ayumi's tie for the first time ever, and that's intense. In other words, Hyuga thinks the blooms are connected to the researchers' more unsavory activities.
そういうこと。だから研究エリアを調べてた。ちょっとヤバい方法も使ってね。
Exactly. That's why I've decided to investigate the research district. I might have also used some unorthodox methods. What do you mean by unsavory activities? Are researchers doing something they're not supposed to? The conversation had suddenly gone in a dark direction, so I felt I had to ask. Tokio turned to me with a determined look in his
今
eyes.
度はあんたが知らない事実についても説明するよ。
There are certain things you don't know, but I'll tell
俺
you.
が調べたこと。それから俺たちが今まで知っていて隠していたことを。
Some of it I found during my research, other things were purposely hid from you. I'm going to tell you everything. All right, go ahead. Make my day. I braced myself for what Tokio had to say.
一部の研究者たちは公にできないような研究をしてるんだ。そしてそれはブルームズにも関係してる。
Some of the researchers' work can't be made public. It has to do with the
ヒューガの
blooms.
口ぶりを聞いて、歩夢の言う通り、俺はあいつがその辺の事情を知ってるんじゃないかと思ったんだ。
From what Hyuga said, it sounds like he knows a lot about it.
つまり、ヒューガも研究者だったんじゃないかっていう仮説を立てた。
My theory is Hyuga used to be a researcher here. You can't be serious.
うん。だから研究エリアで過去の名簿を漁ったり、
It's true. I went through the research district's past directories.
マインドオペレートで古参の研究者たちに探りを入れてみたりしたんだ。
I also used hypnosis on some researchers who've been here for a while to find more information.
それがヤバい方法か。
Switching by
随
unorthodox
分無
methods.
茶したな。
Skirting a line. Yumi heaved a sigh, but Tokio defended himself.
手段は選んでられなかったんだよ。計画を実行するなら早くしたかったし。
I didn't have the luxury to choose. It was the fastest way to carry out my
それ
plan.
に無茶した会話あった。
And the risk paid off. It's just about a sure thing.
ほぼ確実だ。
It's just about a sure thing. Someone resembling Hyuga was a researcher in the past.
ヒューガは暗部を知り得る立場だったかもしれない。
So Hyuga knows the dark truth. That's what I think. You want to fill me in on the dark truth? It was shocking to learn that Hyuga used to be a human researcher, but it felt like we were getting close to a real issue. I was determined to learn the truth no matter how heinous it was. But what Tokio said went beyond anything I could have imagined.
研究エリアには環境改善を目的とした研究チームがあるんだ。
There's a research team whose main goal is to improve the
ブル
environment.
ームズも実はそこに属してるんだってこと知らなかっただろ。
The blooms are actually part of that. I don't imagine you knew that. There is the time I've heard about it. This is the first time I've heard about it, but how do we help the environment? We mainly fight
僕たちの任
kaiju
務が環境改善の研究から派生したものだからだよ。
because our missions originated from that
環境改善
research.
プロジェクトは最初の目的から変わってきているんだ。
And then the environmental improvement project changed its objective.
俺と歩夢が生まれた時にはもうそうなってた。環境改善の研究は表向きで、実際にやってるのは遺伝子の研究だよ。
The switch had already happened by the time Ayume and I were born. Environmental improvement is just a facade. What they're really doing is genetic research. Genetic research?
環境の方を変えるんじゃなくて、今の環境に適応できる人間を生み出す方にシフトしたんだ。
In other words, instead of changing the environment, they're shifting focus to create humans who can adapt to the current conditions. Is that possible? There's no way anyone could survive out there. I saw it with my own eyes, but we can go outside. The thought struck me suddenly. I blurted it out without thinking.
そうだよ。 つまり俺たちこそが遺伝子研究の結果の一部だ。
Boom, which is why we are part of that research.
とは言っても、俺たちも完全な成功例じゃない。変身しなきゃ外には出られないし、
We aren't
時間制
perfect
限だってある。
specimens. We have to transform in order to go outside, and there's a time limit.
でも、そんな制限なんてなしに、コロニーの外で生きていける存在がいるよ
But
ね。
there are other creatures who can live outside the colony with any of those restrictions, right? Tokio's line of questioning helped me connect the dots. The kaiju.
ご名答。研究者たちは遺伝子操作を繰り返すうちに自ら害獣を生み出していたんだよ。
That's correct. The researchers' work in genetic engineering led them to create the
初
kaiju.
めは偶然だったのかもしれないけど、今では故意にそれをやってる。
It could have been an accident at first, but now they're doing it intentionally.
そこまで手を染めていたのか。
Gone too far. Ayumi, you didn't know? Ayumi shook his head.
ああ、僕と時雄は遺伝子研究をしていることまでは知っていた。
Tokyo and I only knew that they had
後
constructing
天的に
genetic
超能力
research.
を得た君やセナ、モカと違って僕と時雄は初めから超能力者として生まれたからね。
Mocha and yourself acquired your powers. Tokyo and I were born
つ
with
ま
them.
り研究の成果というなら君よりも僕たちの方が当てはまるんだ。
It'd be more accurate to say that we are the fruits of their research.
害獣を生み出していることまでは知らなかった。
However,
よく考えればわかるような環境にいたのに。
we didn't know that they engineered the kaiju. Looking back, it should have been obvious
仕
to us.
方ないよ。あいつらは俺たちにも隠していたし、
We can't blame ourselves. They purposely hid it from us.
何より歩むには他に大切なことがあっただろ。
Besides, you had more important things to take care of, Ayumi.
ああ、そうだね。
You're right. Ayumi looked down. I was curious as to what he meant. I guess we'll find out when we do Ayumi's story. But I had more questions for Tokyo first. You didn't know either until you looked into it?
うん。俺は俺で環境改善の研究の方に気を取られすぎてた。
I was too focused on researching for bettering the environment.
でも研究者としては害獣の存在にもっと早く目を向けるべきだったかもしれない。
As a researcher myself, I should have questioned where the kaiju were coming from much earlier.
ヒューガの今回の様子を見て、俺はこの事実を推測して調べを進めていたんだけど、
In any case, I've decided to
正
investigate
式に裏も取った。
what Hyuga said and went after from there. And I finally confirmed everything
研
yesterday.
究者が研究過程で害獣を生み出していることについて、
They created the
極秘事項として
kaiju.
黙認されていることを
Even the commander admitted that it had been kept classified. He did. I shouted in surprise, but then realized it made sense that he knew since the blooms were part of the whole thing.
ただ、ヒューガが研究者だったかもしれないってことは知らなかった。疑いは持ってたみたいだけどね。
He didn't know that Hyuga possibly being a former researcher. I think he might have
だ
suspected
から
it
ヒュ
though.
ーガについては結局推測の域を出ないけど、研究者だった頃にきっと何かがあったんだ。
We couldn't find anything conclusive about Hyuga, but my guess is that something must have happened when he was
多
here.
分研究の過程で事故のようなものがあって害獣になってしまった。
I suspect there was an accident during an experiment that turned him into a
そう考
kaiju.
えれば俺たちに向けた言葉も意味がわかる気がする。
Considering all that, what he says makes
あの
sense.
言葉には俺たちに対してっていうよりもその上の人間、つまり研究者に対しての憎悪が感じられたから。
He wasn't expressing hatred towards us, but rather the people above us, meaning the researchers. Hyuga despises the researchers. I can only imagine what Hyuga was thinking. But besides his obvious disdain for humanity, I also remembered how he changed after seeing what happened to Takai. He acted strange then too. Perhaps his reaction had something to do with what happened to him when he worked here.
時雄が調べていたことは分かった。それで結局何をするつもりなんだ。
Alright, we're caught up to
Mada,
speed, but you
sorry,
haven't told us what you're planning on doing about it. Wild theories have begun to fill my mind, but Ayumi's question snapped me back to reality. That's right, let's hear the plan. Tokyo responded swiftly and without hesitation.
俺はね、ヒューガに起こったことも 大気に起こったことも
What happened to Hyuga
根
and
本
Tai
は一緒じゃないかって思ったんだ。
is fundamentally the same in
研
my
究者たち
eyes.
が害獣を生み出していること、これを終わらせなければ悲しみや憎しみは終わらない。
The researchers are going to continue creating kaiju, which mean there'll be more of these kind of
き
tragedies.
っとこれから先も負の連鎖が続いていくと思う。だからそれを断ちたいんだ。
This vicious cycle will just repeat itself over and over. That's why we have to put an end
研
to it.
究者に手を出すのか。
We're planning to attack the researchers?
研究エリアに行って研究者たちに立ち向かうつもり。
We'll go to the research district and do
たと
something
え
about
歩
it.
が止めても俺はやるよ。第一、止めてほしくてこの話をしたわけじゃないから。
I'll go even if you try to stop me, Ayumi. I'm not telling you this because I want to be talked out of it.
ただ
I'm telling you simply because I wanted you to know.
ここまで聞いて傍観者でいろっていうのか。
You think I can sit back after you
そ
tell
ん
me
な
all
ことで
this?
きるわけないだろ。
Ridiculous.
それに僕が止めたくらいじゃ時雄は自分の決めたことをやめたりしない。
I know you'd never give up no matter what I
だ
do.
ったらそばでサポートするよ。時雄の計画がうまくいくようにね。
I'm going to lend my support. Someone has to make sure your plan works. I'll help too. This might be the only thing we can do for Takai. And for Liz as well. I want to end the cycle for all of them. I briefly wondered if I wanted to do this for my own self-satisfaction. But even if that were the case, this will prevent what happened to us from happening again, and I knew that was the right thing to
あ
do.
りがとう。二人がこんな風に言ってくれるなら他のブルームズのメンバーにも話すことにする。
Mada, have your support. I'll ask the commander and Ro for help, but he said Bloom, so maybe the
司令
Blooms
と
too.
富塚さんには
Ah,
できれば協力も要請するよ。
subtitles
Sina to Moka wa
aren't in sync.
強
I'll
制
talk
で
to
きない
Sina
け
and
ど
Mocha. I know we can't force those two to help.
無関係なことじゃないから、もしやるって言うなら
They're
一緒に
part
来
of
てもら
this,
おうと思う。
so I hope they'll come with us.
それはいいと思うけれど。時雄の体調は
That works for me, but how are
昨
you
日
holding
から
up?
様子がおかしかったけれど。司令と話をしたのもそっちが本題だったんじゃないのか。
You've been acting strange since yesterday. Wasn't that the main reason you were talked to the commander about? Tokio said his powers were fading. Tokio nodded confidently, despite how worried Ayumi and I
大
clearly
丈夫だ
were.
よ。少なくともこの計画をやり遂げるまでは。
I can hold out until we finish, at the very least. The biggest question was, how would it end? Worry gnawed at the back of my mind, but I found myself unable to say anything. Dun dun.
そういうわけで俺は研究エリアに向かうことに
Curious,
したから。
curious. Are we at the final? Are we still normal ending? There's not even a cut scene. Okay, whatever. That's about sums it up. I'm going to go to the research district and I'd like you all to come with me. If you agree with my plan, that is. The next day after school, Tokio gathered all of us, Sina, Mocha, Ayumi, the commander, Ro, and myself to explain his plans. Sina and Mocha were clearly shaken after they heard about what had been happening. But the more Tokio revealed, the angrier they got.
私もう絶対に無理ですわ。怪獣と戦うことなんて二度とできません。
I must say this is the last straw. I'll never fight a kaiju again.
うちもや司令たちもうちらのことバカにしすぎなんとちゃうの。
Same here. It's awful you didn't tell us, Commander.
ごめんね。真実を知らない方が君たちを守れると思ってたんだけど。
I thought I was protecting you, but really I was just a coward.
僕たちももう子供じゃありませんから。
We're not children. We can make our own decision. So, Commander, do you also think what the researchers are doing is wrong? I couldn't believe that the commander and Ro would side with the researchers, but I had to check.
そうだね。でも正す勇気は持てなかった。それをするのは今ではない。という
I
気
didn't have
持
the
ちがあっ
courage to
たの
stop
も
him.
事
I
実。
didn't have the opportune
正す
moment.
のは今な
What
んだ
better
よ。
time than now?
少なくとも
That's what I
俺とこ
think,
の
at
子
least.
そのきっかけを作ったのは指令だとも言えるよ。イオタでの出来事があったから俺たちは決断したんだ。
You actually set the stage for this. You sent us to Iota, and we came to this decision after what happened
来
here.
るべくして時が来たということか。
So everything has come to head now.
そういうこと。
That's right.
司令塔富塚さんも研究エリアに向かうことに異論はないですよね。
Neither of you object to going to the research
二
district
人は
then?
来てもらわないと困る。さすがに俺たちだけで狡猾な研究者たちと渡り合うのは厳しいと思うから。
I need both of your wits with us. I don't think we'll be able to handle the researchers on our own.
後ろ盾になってもらえると助かるんだけど、それくらいしてもらってもいいよね。
Your support would be a great help. I can at least count on you for that, right?
もちろん君たちだけで行かせたりはしないよ。富塚君もそれでいいよね。
I won't let you go by yourself. Ro and I are okay with this.
はい。
I am. Once the two of them agreed, we headed out to the research district. Ayumi and I transformed along the way. Tokio's powers were fading, so he was the only one of us who didn't transform. He said he'd transform if necessary, but the power would only happen if he had to use our powers against the researchers. I hoped it doesn't come to that, and we can just talk things through. I didn't want to fight anymore, whether they be kaiju or human. That's the whole reason we were on this mission. The commander took the lead after we passed through the command center. After walking a while longer, he stopped suddenly in his tracks. An elderly researcher stood before him. Other assistants I'd met during the test stopped what they were doing and looked up at us curiously. What brings you here today? I didn't believe we had a test
高
scheduled.
藤君
We're up, Tokyo.
わかっ
Got it. Tokyo stepped forward and began speaking in a quiet yet commanding
こ
voice.
こで行われていることはすべて知ってるよ。
We want you to
怪獣を
stop
生み出す
creating
ようなあ
kaiju.
んたたちがやってることは人間のための研究じゃない。
Your research isn't for the
自
betterment
分
of
たちの知
humanity.
識や欲望を満たすための研究になってる。
It's just
違
your
う。
to satisfy your own curiosity and vanity, isn't it? I was wondering what you were going to say, Mori. Your lacking of discipline disappoints me. You came all the way just to have some child spout off nonsense. How terribly pathetic. The head researcher ignored Tokyo completely and turned to the commander. It was clear from his disdainful demeanor that he viewed us as nothing more than babbling children. We're the ones who decided to speak to you. The commander didn't put us up to it, and it certainly isn't nonsense. The whole point of your work was to save humanity, but look what it's turned you into. You've been obsessed with your research, that you've lost your own sense of humanity. The old man glared at me sharply as I argued my point. Big talk from a group that's basically a bunch of glorified exterminators.
研究者とも思えない。頭の
What
悪
an
い言
inane
葉だね。
statement from someone who's supposed to be a respectful researcher.
掃除屋ですっていくらなんでも方言が過ぎますわ
Exterminators? That's how you view us?
うちらが掃除屋ならあんたらは何様なんや。神様気取りも大概にせえや。
We're exterminators. What's that make you? It's high time you stop playing God. Ooh, what a horrible person. I didn't think he wouldn't listen at all. I bit my lip in annoyance as how cavalier he dismissed us. Then the commander stepped forward.
彼らは確かにまだ若いし考え方
Even
も甘いかも
this
しれない
random researcher has a face. Why didn't Takai have like a bad outline? It's true that you're still young and perhaps a little naive,
でも
but they're
間違った
not
ことは
wrong,
言
at
っていま
least
せんよ
not as wrong as you are. You dare defy me? What is he, gonna turn to a kaiju? The elderly researcher drew himself up when the commander took our side. The other assistants stood up as well. You could cut the tension in the room with a knife. I steeled myself for the worst. Are we going to have a
まさ
fight?
きさん、ここは一旦引いた方がいいんじゃないですか。
Misaki, I think a retreat's in order. It's not
そうだね。
like it's not right to let them fight.
みんなを戦わせたくはないけど、マインドオペレートでなら戦いってほどのものじゃないよ。
I don't want to drag everyone to a fight. Hypnosis would make a quick draw of this. The head researcher grew nervous when he heard this quiet exchange. You aren't suggesting attacking us with your powers, are you? Perhaps I went too far earlier. There's no need to use those dangerous powers against people. He clearly was afraid of our powers, but in truth, we didn't want to use them. We relaxed our guards slightly, and the researchers continued. What say we strike a deal? What kind of deal? There's evidence that some of the kaiju possess human-level consciousness, correct? Especially one of them. If you defeat their leader, we will quit our genetic experiments. You must mean Moravia. On the surface, it was a good deal, since we only had to defeat Moravia. But could we really do it, knowing the truth of how the kaiju came to be?
倒すか。俺たちはもう怪獣と戦うことはできないよ。
Beat their leader. The thing is, we won't fight kaiju anymore.
戦闘を回避しながら怪獣がこれ以上シータを襲わないように話をつける。
What we can do is talk to them and get them to stop attacking
その条
Theta.
件なら取引に応じる。
That's the only deal we'll accept. Tokyo's voice had the exact thing I'd been worried about it. I think your way will be much more ambiguous if the kaiju stop attacking Theta so much the better. Very well, I accept your conditions. Surprisingly, he agreed quickly and without further complaints. The other researchers maintained their composure as well. They probably don't think we'll succeed, but we'll show them. Will we? Just stop them? That doesn't make much sense. A few days later, our biggest problem was figuring out how to contact Moravia, and the commander and Rose solved that issue for us. I had my doubts at first because they wouldn't tell us how they managed it, but Moravia did show up and stood before us. They told her we didn't want to fight and only wanted to talk, so she agreed to the meeting and came to Theta by herself.
知ってるのかもしれないけど、話をする前に一応最初に正体を明かしておく。
You might already know, but I wanted to tell you who I was before we began.
変
I'm
身してい
Kayori.
ないのは戦う意志がないことの証明だと思ってほしい。
I haven't transformed, so I hope you'll see I have no intention of
話は
fighting.
大体聞いてると思うけど、俺たちは研究者たちと取引をしたんだ。
I'm sure you heard the gist of things, but we struck a deal with the
怪獣
researchers.
を生むような研究はやめさせる。だから怪獣もシータを襲わないでほしい。
We'll stop the research if you and the kaiju stop attacking.
なるほど。真実を知って僕たちに同情でもしたのかな。
Have you begun to sympathize with us now that you know the truth? Moravia posed the question as if it were a test, but Tokyo shook his head.
同情じゃないよ。ただ不毛だと思ったんだ。
It's not sympathy, I just think it's a
人
meaningless
間
fight.
は害獣に傷つけられたら害獣になる。俺たちは
We've had to kill our
そのせいで
friends
友達を
that
手に
turned
かけ
into
ることに
kaiju
なっ
after being attacked.
そのことで傷つ
It
い
was
たけれ
painful
ど
to do, but our friends who
生
turned
き
had
返す
it
れ
far
ば倒す
worse.
ことでしか救ってやれなかった。そんな結末を選ぶことしか。あ
We
の時の
couldn't
俺た
save
ちには
them, so we
で
had
き
to
な
take
かっ
them
た。
down. It was our only choice.
最近になって害獣が生まれる原因を知った。そして考えたんだ。
I recently discovered how kaiju came to be in the first place, and it got me thinking.
害獣が生まれてこなければ未来の悲劇は防げるかもしれないってね。
If no more kaijus were created, then we could prevent
害
any
獣
further
に傷つけ
tragedies.
られて怪獣になった人間も遺伝子操作をされて生み出された怪獣もどちらもなりたくてなったわけじゃない。
None of the kaijus chose to become one, not the people who were attacked, nor those made through genetic
怪獣に気
engineering.
持ちがあるかはわからないけど進んで人間を傷つけたいわけじゃないかもしれ
I
な
don't
い。
know if kaiju still have feelings, but they might not want to hurt
も
humans.
しそうだとしたら傷つけたくな
And
い
if
者
that's the
同士
case,
が
what's the
戦
point
っ
of
て
this fighting when no one
Kizu
wants to do it in the first place?
だから不毛だって言うんだね。
So that's why you said it was meaningless. Moravia nodded, as if convinced.
あんたがどういうつもりで害獣と一緒に人間を襲うのかは知らないけど害獣が殺され続けることをいいとは思ってないだろ
I don't know why you're fighting with the kaiju, but you probably don't want them to keep getting killed.
俺たちは戦いをやめることができるはずだ
So we should be able to find a way to stop all the violence. If neither of us want to continue hurting kaiju. Moravia turned to face Tokyo as she
君
listened.
が本心を語っているという証明は？僕や今日はここに来ていないヒューガや雪並みにそれを証明することができる？
you have any proof that what you're telling is the truth? Even though Hyuga and Yukonami aren't here, they'll want to know as
証
well.
明になるかはわからないけど、俺はあの日からずっとこれを持ってるよ。
I don't know if it's proof, but I want to show you something I've been holding on to. I gasped when I saw the glittering in his outstretched palm. That's
大気の水晶か。
Ike's flower
あんた
crystal.
も見てただろう。これは俺が倒してしまった
I know you saw
友
it
達の
too.
水晶かだ
This
よ。
came from the friend I had to kill.
今話したことは
I swear on this crystal that everything I've said is the truth. Do you still not trust me? Moravia looked back and forth between the flower crystal and Tokai. She then fell silent for a
な
while.
るほど。確かに君は本心を語っているのかもしれないね。
You might be speaking this truth, but what about the
本当に
researchers?
害獣を生み出すのをやめるかな。
I doubt they'll stop creating kaiju. I still don't fully trust them either. Their cutting words and disdainful look flashed through my mind. I had the same opinion of them that Moravia did. But still, we're not asking you to have faith in the researchers, we're asking you to have faith in us. If they go back on their word, we'll stop them.
この子の言う通りだ。
Yes. Moravia gazed at me quietly for a while, and I stared back, waiting for her response. Eventually, she left.
君たちが綺麗事を並べるだけだったら信じられなかったけど。
I
どうやら
wouldn't take
違
your
った
word
みた
for
いだ
it if that was all lip service, but I can tell that's not the case.
いいよ。シータを襲うのをやめよう。ただし、期
I'll
限
stop
付きでね。
attacking Theta, but only
1
temporarily.
年待つよ。その時に研究者たちが約束を破っていれば、
I'll wait
こ
a
の
year.
取引は白紙にさせてもらう。
If the researchers break their promise, the deal's off.
それ
Sounds
で
fair
いい
to
よ。
me. Tokia agreed, and Moravia smiled and turned to
それ
leave.
じゃあまたね。
See you later. And with that, Moravia disappeared. It was over so quickly that it almost felt too easy. I heard footsteps behind me and turned to see Mocha and the others running up to us. They had been standing guard.
モラビアたちのことは全面的に信じてもよかったんやろか。
They would actually trust Moravia and all of them.
確かにそうですわね。モラビアはともかく、
Moravia sighed, what about Hyuga
はどうなん
and
でしょう。
Yukonami?
俺は
I believe her.
信じるよ。前に見たとき、ヒューガはモラビアに逆らえない感じだったしね。
Hyuga can't go against Moravia wishes.
それに、研究者たちよりも、あいつらの方がよっぽど俺
Besides,
た
there's
ちに近い。
more. They're more like
今ではそんな風に思え
we're
るんだ。
more like them than researchers. That's what I think. I know what you mean. I heard researchers call our powers dangerous. Thinking back, it's similar to the way they all describe the kaiju and sometimes aliens. If that's how they see us, then I suppose we are more like kaiju.
この後はどうしようか。
So what do we do now?
研究者たちが遺伝子操作の研究を再開しないように見張る方法でも考える？
Oops. I'm gonna take a real quick second and I'll be right back. Okay. I am back. I'm a little off center, but that's okay. All right. So what do you do now? Should we think of ways to keep an eye on the
それ
researchers?
なんだけど、遺伝子操作の研究よりももっと興味を引きそうなものをこっちから出してやろうと思ってるんだ。
I've been thinking about that, and I think I could provide them with something more interesting than genetic
センセーショ
research.
ナルな発見ができれば、あいつらより立場も上になれるかもしれない。
I just need to make a groundbreaking discovery, then I'll be appointed to be in a position higher than them.
興味を引きそうなもの。
And what's this groundbreaking discovery?
あれやろ、今度こそほんまに人間が住める環境を作るってやつとちゃうん？
It's a lot. You're gonna make the environment livable again?
正解。もともと俺
But
の
I was researching in the first place. Would it be possible to use our powers for that? Augment, foresight, sap, those don't have anything to do with the environment, though.
いや、いいんじゃないかな。
We can figure something out. Might as well give it a try. We all began to brainstorm ideas on how to improve the situation outside, though it was sure the reality would be much different than how we imagine it. Let's do it together. Ugh. I know I can overcome anything as long as I'm with Tokio. That's the one thing I have faith in without a doubt. Eh. Eh. Meh. Meh, meh. Meh, 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 meh. Okay. We're going to load back up. And I'm going to try. So I don't want to. I opened up a guide while I was doing my other thing. I'm going to go through it and try and do all the answers I think are right and see if that changes the ending because I'm still confused. I'm used to the games being very simple. If they're happy, then it usually means you're going to get a good empty ending. If they're not happy, you're going to get a bad ending. So I'm going to load from the beginning of his story. And then I'm also going to get his first bad ending, actually. Yes, 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 yes. And then I need to remember if I'd not gone far enough. Let's see. Flowchart. Am I in the first one? Yeah. Okay. Let her go. It was already too late. Oh dear. Okay, that was so fast. We faced a kaiju yet again, and as always, the numbers continue to grow. I have to focus on my mission. I told myself that a part of me knew I still hadn't came to terms with my issues. When I caught sight of the kaiju bearing towards me, it was already too late. Ah, move. The kaiju was right on top of me. No good. I can't avoid it, right? But right as I braced myself for the kaiju's claws, yeah. Blood poured from her wounds, reminding me of when Liz had fallen. Oh dear. Are you okay? We tried to help Kaori up as her blood stained my hands and seeped into my clothes. It's all my fault. I knew I needed to stop the bleeding, but my hands were shaking. I then heard Kaori whisper something, her voice strained.
だら
If I turn, you must defeat. She reached out her hand to me. What are you trying to say? My mind was a mess, but I held Kaori's hand and tried to understand. It was a nightmare. I didn't want to believe it. I knew what was about to happen. I'd seen it before, but I couldn't stop it. All I could do was accept my fate as the kaiju's claws came down upon me. Interesting. Okay, so literally if I don't go after, I didn't even get to do anything. When I went after, they like literally stopped me. I feel like that wouldn't have that drastic a change, but okay. All right, go after her unless you want to die. Jeez. All right.
そうですわね。
Skip to the next choice. All right, follow him. I know he likes that. Next choice. Say he's easy to talk to. You know that you're pretty easy to talk to. Really? It was nice of him to say I was easy to talk to too, but I was more touched by how he shared something with me he hadn't told anyone else. Alright, perfect.
So-
Alright, skip to the next option. Demand he lets you go. I don't remember actually. Hang on. I'm not trying to skip. I'm trying to save. Because I don't know. And I don't want to have to reload weird. I think ask what he means is the right one. Okay, cool. Alright, skip to the next choice. Cast augment. Yeah. Are you sure? I'm fine. I'm going to cast augment if you want to give me your hand. I carefully watch as the kaiju's movements. I grasp both of their hands and quickly cast augment. Did it work? I feel it. You're really giving it all your all this time. Yeah. Okay, great. Next choice.
Nani?
I'm pretty sure just being straightforward was the answer. No. Oh no, I don't know if that was the right answer. Hang on. Hang on, just in case. We're gonna go back. I just want to make sure they are all the happy answers. Ask him what he means. Cast augment. Okay, hang on. I'm not trying to skip. I'm trying to save. I'm going to save over this one because, again, I'm just trying to get all the right answers. All right, we're going to save over this one. And then, are you Kaori's brother? He liked that one. Are you Kaori's brother? I couldn't believe the conclusion I'd come to, so I attempted to avoid it entirely. Tokio stared blankly at me. He came all this way to ask me something as ridiculous as that. You're not just honest, you got quite an imagination. Wait, I wanted to ask you something, but I didn't have the confidence. I couldn't avoid it any longer. I just have to ask, are you Kaori? I am! Okay, so then it still gets revealed. That's fine. Okay, he liked that. I'm pretty sure cast... Oh gosh, I just keep saving. I'm pretty sure cast augment was the right answer on this one. Let's see. Yeah. Not that there's a red answer, but I say there is. Mention the blue skies. I remember him liking that. And then suggest just a shaking hand because he did not like the secret handshake. He was very embarrassed. All right. Okay, let's see. Every time I did like back up, it didn't work out too well, so let's see. Let's make sure. I can't remember if this one worked. Cast? Yeah. I'll cast augment. That'll help you take them down faster, right? Yeah, I quickly cast it. Got it? Yeah, okay. Look at that strong boy. Alright, I really can't remember. There was so many of them where it was all like, just help, and he likes it. So let's see. Let's run until she reached the kaiju and plummeted them into oblivion. Cast augment, I think. Yeah, okay. Just keep touching him on the shoulder. I think the fight together was the right one. I don't know. I didn't do this. Okay, that one he likes. Fine. Kaori's voice, Takao's voice was short. Alright. Kaori and I was going to take on the talk. Approached him. Kaiju noticed Kaori. Sorry. Still turned into one. Okay, still turned into one. Hyuga's still disappointed. Hyuga's always disappointed. I was just thinking about you That's right, just you. Because I knew it would cause you pain. Anyways. Alright. I can't remember if cast was a good choice here. Let's see. Let's try taking the lead. I'll take the lead. No, he doesn't seem to like that. Let's load. Okay, we're loading. We're loading this one up. Yeah. We're gonna keep casting augment. Okay.
ブーストをかけてもらえるならこっちも
Alright. Sure, that sounds like this will end everything quicker. Here it goes. Am I gonna kill him? Are you gonna die? I'll be quiet once the last kaiju fell. Okay.
それは良かったんやけど
Yeah, okay, cool. I was afraid that maybe that would have some weird thing. Of course I'll help you. I'm like in love with you, you yellow-eyed
俺が何を考
guy that
え
wears
て
really baggy clothes. I know I overcame anything as long as I'm with Tokyo, but the one thing I had faith in without a doubt. Oh no, did I just skip the whole thing? Did I get the normal ending again? This makes no sense! Okay, flowchart. The fact that this has so many, okay, bad ending. Yeah. Back to normal. Okay, so I did everything right. Like, he super was in love with me and it was still normal ending. So, like, I don't know if I understand. Okay, so this is... Okay.
ああまた始めるんですね
I'm cheating again. But only out of love. And out of love I mean completionist. The completionist in me. I am not the kind of person that'll play this a million times just to figure it out, because you're like, oh yes, well if you looked at him and told him French toast in the chapter 2, he'll love you more. Like, I can understand some of it, but like, no. Ask him what he means. Okay, alright. Cast augment, which so far we're right on sync with what I was doing, so I don't know where I messed up.
こんなに怪獣に
Yeah, we're gonna keep going. Are you
何
Kaori's brother? I don't know why he likes that. It's like, oh, she's so spunky. Cast support. Everything feels the same. I swear if I get a different ending, the game's just messing with me. Mention the sky. Everything is the same so far. But I just did. Mention the sky. Suggest they shake hands. Alright. Everything I've done is the same. Nothing has changed. Mention the sky. Suggest they shake hands. Cast augment. Alright, let's see. Cast augment. Support him. I only had the exact same thought. I nodded firmly. Okay, so that, I don't know, maybe that's supposed to be them being in sync, because that saying he liked that response better, basically. Support, let's see, cast augment support, fight together. Which, again, maybe that's it. You feel like you're more of a team with these answers.
大気じゃなくて
I was just thinking about you, but then he still wants this this answer. That was one answer different. If it's literally one answer, that you're killing me. Take the lead. You didn't like that answer in the game, so it's again weird. Of course I'll help you. Alright, so let's see. Skip to the next choice or unread text.
そういうわけで
I'll be heading over to the research district the next day after school. Tokyo grabbed all of us. We couldn't use the command center for obvious reasons, so we met in the prep room. We weren't on a mission, so Ayumi and I haven't transformed. Sina and Mocha listened to Tonomi's too brief summary and couldn't hide their shock.
ちょっと待ってください。
Genetic engineering, they created the
遺伝子操作
kaiju? Oh goodness.
怪獣に傷つけら
Learning
れ
about
た
how
人
people
間が
turn into
怪獣
kaiju
になる
was
っていう
shocking
だけでも
enough,
ショッ
but
ク
now
だ
we're
ったの
telling
に
me it was all done on purpose.
すぐには信じら
It's
れ
very
ませんわね。
difficult to believe, or perhaps I just do not want to believe it. I understood how Sina felt, painfully so. There was still a part of me that wanted this all to be a
ま
lie.
あちょっと考えればうちは信じられる気もしてきたわ。
The more I think about it, the more sense it
研
makes.
究者のやつらなんて信用できへんやつらばっかりやん。
The researchers aren't the most trustworthy
そもそも
bunch.
司令と富塚さんがその辺のことを黙ってたっちゅうのも驚かへんわ。初めからうさんくさかったもんな。
Besides, I'm not. Oh no, my Twilight Sparkle almost fell. I almost ruined Twilight Sparkle's life. Alright, fix that. Okay. Besides, I'm not surprised the commander and Ro kept it from us. Those two are always sketch. Everyone turned towards the commander and Ro after Mocha said this.
モカは痛いこと言うな。
Harsh but true.
俺は別に
I don't care what you think of me. The commander smiled wearily while Ro's expression didn't change at all. They must have known exactly why Tokai called us here.
まあセナが信じられないのも無理ないし
I don't blame Cena for being skeptical, which is why I asked the commander and Ro to come. Which, by the way, this cup, I don't know if you've ever had, there's this creamsicle candy. I used to eat it all the time when I was a kid, and it was like this color. It was like two-toned. I think of it when I see this bottle.
だからもうちょっと補足してもらえるとありがたいんだけど
It'd be great if we could shed some more light on the whole thing. The two of them didn't flinch at being called untrustworthy. The commander then assumed a more serious expression and
まず
faced
は
us.
謝るべきだろうね。これほどの事実を黙ったまま、君たちを任務に向かわせていたことを。
I suppose an apology is in order. I sent you out on missions while concealing this information
Theta,
from you, but please believe me when I say I was trying to
僕は
protect you.
真実を知れば、今の高藤君のように動き出すかもしれなかったし、そうでなくても、
If you had known the truth, you might have tried to do what Tokyo's doing right now.
高藤君、君がやろうとしていることは上層部、つまり
You're essentially proposing to go against the higher ups, which means Theta. Do you
もちろ
understand?
んあるよただ全員に同じ覚悟をしろとは言わない
Of course.
だから少し考えてほしいんだ
I'm not asking you to do the same. I just want you to think
た
about
まに
it.
待てないけど一日明日のこの時間に俺は計画を実行するから付き合ってもいいと思う人は来てほしい
I can't give you long. I'm going to put my plan to action tomorrow at this time, so come here if you want to join me.
ちなみに司令と富塚さんは強制参加だから返事はいりませんよ
It was so fast. I didn't realize I wasn't gonna have time. All right. I already know the commander and Ro are coming with me since they don't get a say in the matter.
拒否権なしか
So I can't refuse.
真実を隠して戦わせていたという非があるからね。
It's our fault for hiding the
どち
truth.
ら
I
に
was
しても
going to fight
僕は
either
参
way,
加するつもりだったし、
so it's fine by me. I spoke up after the commander and Ro said their piece. I already said so yesterday, but I'm in. I want this all to end.
僕も初めから時を一人で行かせるなんて選択肢はなかったしね。
Me too. There was never any question. I won't let Tokyo do this alone. Sina spoke next after a short pause.
私は考えさせてください。自分一人の問題だったら喜んで手を貸しますけれど。
Oh, does Sina have like siblings or something? That makes sense. Allow me to think on it. I'd gladly lend a hand if it was only affected me, but if the plan fell, certain people in my life could be in danger. Considering that, I cannot make a snap
うちも
decision.
考えさせて。研究者たちのやってることを考えたら断る理由はないんやけど。
I'm gonna think about it too. There isn't much of a reason for me to say no, given what the researchers are doing.
ただうちはうちでやりたいことがある。この計画に乗ることでそれ
If
が
I've
できな
got
くなった
something I
ら
have to do, it'll cause a lot of problems if the plan hinders that.
迷うのは当然だと思う計画に参加しないならこの話があったこと自体忘れてもらって構わないから
You decide not to join, just forget about everything I told you. Though Tokyo shared his understood Sina and Mocha's situation, they each gave a troublesome smile.
忘れるのはさすがに無理ですわね。少なくとももうブルームズの任務は
It won't be quite impossible to forget. I won't be a bloom anymore.
そうやな。なあ、ブルームズの今後についても考えてくれるんやろな。
Have you thought about what's going to happen to the blooms? Mocha glared at the commander and he gave a short
も
nod.
ちろんだよ。計画が成功すればブルームズも解散になるだろ
The blooms will disband if it's a
う。た
success.
とえ失敗したとしても僕が君たちを守るよ。と言っても信用できないかい？
I'll still protect you if it fails. Not sure you have much
その
trust in my
返
words.
事は保留にしとく。今の答えも含めて計画に参加するかどうか決めさせてもらうわ。
I'll have to think about that as well if I'll join you in the
あ
plan.
の最後に一つ
May I have one last question? After Mocha exchanged with the commander, Sina raised a reluctant hand.
何？
What is it?
実は最初から気になってたんですけれど、どうして今日は3人とも変身していないんですの？任務じゃないからってことはわかりますけど。
Why are you three not transformed? I have been wondering the whole time. I know we're not in the middle of a mission, but still.
僕と時雄は彼女に正体がバレたから隠す必要がなくなった。
Partially because she knows who we are. There's no reason to hide it.
もう一つは時雄が自分で説明するよな。
The other reason Tokyo should explain.
そのつもりだったよ。
I plan to address this
俺
too.
は超能力が弱まってるんだ。正直いつ使えなくなるのかわからないような状
My
態で。
powers are fading. They could disappear at any
それで
time.
今日も変身するのはやめておいた。気休めかもしれないけど、力を少しでも温存できないかと思った。
Preserving my
前の任務
strength.
で調子が悪そうにしてたんはそういうことやったんか。
That's why you didn't seem 100% at our last mission. You
二
two
人
should
は俺の
take
状
my
態も加
condition
味
into
して。
account as well.
俺は計画でマインドオペレートを使うつもりだけど、こういう状態だから賞賛は五分五分だ。
My plan involves me using hypnosis, so my chance of success is about
それで
50-50.
も研究者たちのしていることを許せない、止めたいって気持ちが上回るようなら来てほしい。
If you can't abide with what the researchers are doing and want to stop them, I certainly hope you'll come with me. Tokyo's determination came across loud and clear as he made his appeal to Sina and Mocha. They both took in his words, and I know they must have felt it as
よ
well.
くわかりましたわ。計画に参加しなくても明日のこの時間返事を伝えに来ます。
I'll come tomorrow no matter what and let you know what I've decided.
この後2人で少し話しません？
Mocha, how about after this we briefly discuss? Mocha gave Sina a small nod in
Yeah.
response. Sounds good.
うちらは先に行かせてもらうわ。
We're gonna get going. Hope to see you tomorrow. The two of them peeked outside to make sure the coast was clear before exiting the room. Once they left, Tokyo let out a small sigh. You did a great job. Is there anything I can do to help
あ
prepare?
んたには明日ブーストを使ってもらう。だからたくさん寝て体力を温存してもらえると助かる。
I'll need you to cast Augment tomorrow, so you should rest up and get plenty of sleep. That's it? All he wants me to do is sleep? The commander jumped in to
いやい
explain.
や大事なことだよ。ところで君は超能力に変化はないのかな？
Have you noticed any changes to your powers? Not that I'm aware of. Speaking of, didn't Tokyo ask me the same thing? I thought back over the past few weeks and came with up to a possible theory. Did something bad happen in Iota? Something that affected Tokyo's body, which led to him being unable to use his powers, and that's why you're asking me too? The commander hurriedly waved away my
あ
hypothesis.
あ、違う違う。そうじゃないよ。そうじゃないんだけど、これは判断に迷うな。
How do I put? Maybe it's just
Takato-kun,
bad luck for
Hey, you.
Tokyo. Bad luck. I looked over at Tokyo, confused by what the commander meant, but he just looked down at the floor, grumpy. Tokyo refused to look me in the eye, so I turned to Ayumi for an explanation, but all I did was cast a troubled glance my way without saying another word. Ro, on the other hand, just kept his eyes closed, seemingly uninterested in the whole affair. At least he was consistent. I don't get what you mean. I turned back to the commander and hoped that he'd clarify, but he only patted me on the
と
shoulder.
にかく超能力に問題がないならいいんだよ。
See how many...
高藤君の
Oh
言う通り
man, is it the
今日はもう
love?
帰って
He said don't fall in love. Did they fall in love? And so that's why? Oh man. You don't have any issues with your power, so it's fine. Just go home and rest up for tomorrow. There was clearly no point in pressing the issue further. Please let me know if you need help with anything, Tokyo. I know you came up with the plan, but I want to stop the researchers as much as you do. So just let me know.
分かってる。必要があったら真っ先にあなたに手を貸してもらうよ。
I know you do. I'll be sure to ask you immediately if I need help. Okay, I'll be waiting. I was reluctant to leave, but I had little choice. Interesting. Interesting.
僕の考えは指令とは少し違うよ、時雄。
I don't share the same opinion as the commander.
違うって。
What do you mean?
昨日から二人の様子を見ていて思ったんだ。彼女もきっと時雄のことが。
I got to thinking after seeing the two of you yesterday, she
フ
also
ォローのつもり
seems...
ならいいよ。変な期待はしたくないし。
You don't have to try to back me up here. I don't want any false
そ
hope.
れに、あの子が俺のことをどう思ってようと。
My feelings won't change no matter what she
時
thinks.
雄がそう言うならいいけどね。ただ、
If you say so, but I'm still worried.
さっき指令はあんな風
Commander,
に
you
ごまか
brushed
し
it
て
off
ました
earlier,
け
but
ど、
I think you've always thought there was
思えば。
something special about her.
ブルームズに入った時からずっと僕たちとは少し違う接し方をしていた気がします。
Ever since she joined, I feel like you treated her differently. Maybe her powers
超能力に
afflicts
対
her
しても
differently.
例えば副作用が全く出ない。
Like how she doesn't have a side effect. Misaki, his eyes widen. Why can't I date Misaki? Anyways. That night passed without incident. We all gathered the next day in the same room. Sina and Mocha came just as they
最初
promised.
に私とモカの答えを言いますわね。
Let me give you an answer on behalf of myself and
計画
Mocha.
に乗りますわ。研究者がしていることを止められるのは私たちしかいませんものね。
We're gonna join in your plan. We're the only ones who can stop the researchers after all.
それに肝心の計画の要が調子悪いんやったらフォローしないわけにはいかへんもん。
And if we end up having trouble, I'll be there to help out.
ええ、絶対に失敗は許されませんわよ。そのために私たちの力を貸してあげ
Failure's
ま
not
す
an
わ。
answer. That's why we'll assist you. Determination shone on their eyes, and I'd never seen their smiles look so bright.
二人ともありがとう。二人にもそれぞれの事情があ
I
る
know
こと
there's
は。
things you both
俺も
need to
よく
do,
わかってる
so
つ
I'll
も
be
りだ
sure to
よ。
keep that in mind.
だから絶対に失敗しない。この計画を成功させよう。
I want you down, so let's make sure this plan is a
すぐにでも
success.
出発するんですわよね。
Are we embarking immediately?
でもその前にもう少し説明しておくよ。
Yes, but I have to explain something
研究者
first.
たちに人間を害獣にするような遺伝子の研究をやめさせるのが今
Our
回の
goal
目
is to
的
stop the
だけれど、
researchers from turping people into
具体的に
kaijus.
は俺のマインドオペレートを使って研究をしていたこと自体忘れさせてしまおうと思ってるんだ。
I plan on using hypnosis to make them forget they ever conducted the research in the first
う
place.
わ、大胆な発想やな。
Bold.
でもそれならますます超能力のことが不安ですわね。
So that means the plan is all more precautious because of your
だか
power.
らこの子の力を借りる。ブーストをかけてもらえば多少超能力が弱くなってても
That's what we're gonna
効果は
cause
出る。
augment. It'll be able to help me even if my powers are fading. Leave it to me. I'll give it all my support I can. Tokyo didn't contact me last night, so I focused on resting up like he said. I was ready for Roaring to
僕と
go.
セナとモカは時雄たちがマインドオペレートをかけて回る間の
Tina, Mocha, and I will
時間稼ぎをする。
distract them while Tokyo's team casts
そ
hypnosis.
れから
We'll also destroy the research data. Commander Rowe will be able to take us to where they store the records, right?
あ
Ah,
データの保存場所はだいたい見当がつくからね。みんなに教えることはできると思うよ。
I have a good idea of where they keep everything. I'm sure I'll be able to find it.
一応俺が事前に調べておいた情報も伝えておく。
Let me give you the information I got earlier. I found this when I was investigating Hyuga. I'll forward it to you. Toka tapped his phone and Rowe quickly scanned through the information he received.
抜かりないな。敵に回したくないタイプだ。
You did your research. I never want to get on your bad
失
side.
敗したら後がないんだからこれくらいするよ。
We can't fail, so I had to.
説明はこれで本当に最後だけど何か聞いておきたいことがある人はいる？
That's all I got. Does anyone have any more questions? We responded with silence. Everyone was ready. And as we finally set out for the research district, the place is our final battles.
負の連鎖を断ち切りに行こ
Let's end the vicious cycle. Ayumi and I transformed on the way to the research district, though Tokyo remained in his regular form. The two of us led the way while Tokyo
う。
addressed
向こうに
everyone.
着いたら研究者たちの相手は歩む、はるかたちに任せて、俺たちは目的地まで突っ走ろ
When we get there, Ayumi will deal with the researchers while we head straight to our
う。みんな
destination.
に無駄な戦いはさせたくない。俺たちの目的が研究者たちにバレるまでは
I don't want
極
unnecessary
力何でも
fights.
ないような顔をしてて、
Try to act as if nothing's wrong.
ブルームズの用事があって研究エリアを訪ねてきただけっていう感じの普通の顔を。
The Blooms are just visiting. It's official business. I'll certainly try my best. To be honest, I was a terrible liar. My worries... My worry must have been evident because Tokyo caught my eye and smiled.
そうだった。あんたは素直な取り柄だったね。
That's right, your honesty is one of your best qualities. I actually can't lie. That's why it laughed. I'd be like, I just want to tell the truth, and then I'll just straight going like, I'm gonna be honest with you. I do it with my boss all the time. Alright.
じゃあこうしよう。研究者に何か言われたら
The researchers asked me anything, just look at my face. That's doable, right? I can manage that. I wonder whenever Tokyo looks at me, I get all flustered, but also feel strangely relieved. I was certainly a confusing mix of emotions. Tokyo continued on without
出
pause.
口だ。俺もそろそろ変身するよ。
Here's our exit. It's about time I transformed.
行こ
Alright, let's go. Yeah! Now wasn't the time to stew over my bewildered emotions. I refocused on the task before us. I felt helpless. What happened with Liz and Takai? The least I can do is make sure... Again, Takai needs a face. We can't keep talking about a guy that didn't even get like an outline. The least I can do is make sure what happens doesn't become just some sad footnote in history. I want to make sure it won't happen again. No, it's my responsibility to make sure. I want to create a bright future for everyone, holding determination in my heart. I went through the hidden passageway. Once we exited the passageway, we passed through the command center and headed towards the researchers. We'd been here numerous times before, so no one would think our visit was out of the ordinary. Oh, hello. We don't have any tests for you today, do we? No.
この先で呼ばれているので連れて行くところです。
They were called in, so we're bringing them over. Rome made a vague excuse, and we managed to get by without arousing suspicion. After we walked a little while longer, we came to a place I recognized. Kaori took me here before. This is where they brought all the people who got attacked. Suddenly, memories of Liz turning into a vector flooded my mind, but I didn't freeze up in fear. I'm here so that will never
う
happen
始め
again.
ようか
Let's get
了解
started.
ですわ
We shall take action if everyone tries to interfere with you.
心置きなく暴れてや
Go wreak havoc. You
友
got
塚
it.
さんと司令はデータの廃棄を始めてください。
Commander wrote, you can start destroying the data.
了解。
Copy
じゃ
that.
あ手っ取
Better
り早
hurry.
くやろ
Let's
うか
start with the machine.
手っ取り早くってそういうこと？
That's what you meant? I guess it's quick. Ugh. What are you people doing? A researcher stumbled upon us and shouted when they saw us destroying the machine with our powers. Kaori lets me cast Augment.
ありがとうマインドオペレートもかけるよ
I'll use Mind Break now. I'll try to keep up with Haruka and the others as they sprung into action. What's going on again? Kaori unleashed hypnosis and confused all the researchers around us. It seemed her powers hadn't
今
yet
のうち
faded.
にこの部屋にある研究データの破壊をお願い
We should take this opportunity to destroy any data that was stored
催眠状
elsewhere.
態ならバックアップの場所も聞き出せるはずだから
I should be able to find out where they kept it if they're hypnotized.
俺たちはもっと奥へ行こう肝心の研究が行われてるのはこの
Let's
先
head
だ
further down. They conduct the actual experiments up ahead. Let's go. When we entered the next room, all the researchers looked up at us. What are they doing here? I turned upon hearing the sharp exclamation and saw the elderly researcher I met many times
何
before.
をしてるってこういうことだよ
You want to know? We're here to do this. Did you just cast hypnosis? Looks like they're under your spell now. I made sure hypnosis had worked on all the researchers and let Kaori know. She still looked tense.
でもまだまだ来ると思う。さすがにこれだけ騒げば気がつかれるでしょ。
I think more will show up. There's no way they wouldn't have heard that noise. We heard more loud banging sounds coming from where Haruka and the others went. No point in sneaking around anymore. I strained my ears and heard footsteps running in one direction, just as Kaori
デー
predicted.
タの廃棄はこっちでやる。お前たちはマインドオペレートをかけるのに専念してくれ。
Now just focus on creating mind a break.
セナ、モカ、データの破壊を手伝え。
Help me with
どれが
this.
そうなのかうちらには分からんから適当にこの辺の機械壊
I
す
need like a full body shot of Mocha's outfit because like, is she wearing a cape? Because that's nice. We didn't really know what's what, so I guess the best course is to just blast it all.
破壊は任せましたわよ。いくつあるのか知りませんけど。
I shall leave destroying the backups to you. Who knows how many there are?
わかった。たく。
All of you are such taskmasters. Ro and the other had caught up to us beginning to destroy the research data. Kaori and I focused on casting hypnosis. Let me know when augment fades and I'll recast it immediately. Thanks. I touched Kaori's arm and was ready to cast him at a moment's notice. I then turned my attention to the footsteps thundering towards us. I lost count on how many times we cycled through casting hypnosis and augment. Oh dear, Kaori, are you okay? Fell to her knees and I quickly dashed forward to help her. She looked like she did during our previous mission. I studied her face, worried. Can you not use your powers anymore?
使えなくなってきたのもあるけど、
I think I overdid it.
使いすぎて。
I'm sleepy. Sleepy? I didn't expect her to say
言っ
that.
ておくけど、これはマインドオペレートの使いすぎ。
The price you pay for overusing mind break, it's different from normal sleep. What price? You're saying turning into a woman isn't the only thing?
あれは超能力の副作用で。
That's the side effect. This is... Now's not the time to explain. Kaori shook her head back and forth and to try and wake up.
そういうわけだから、次のマインドオペレートを最後にする。大技を使うから、あんたも全力でお願い。
The next time I cast hypnosis will be the last. It'll be a big one, so I'll need everything you can give me. Got it. I'll cast augment, assuming it's our biggest,
だけど、
bigger push.
タイミングが大事。残された超能力を全部使う気持ちでやるから。
Timing's the most important. I'll be using the last of my powers, so I'm going to undo my transformation. What? You can use hypnosis without transforming? I didn't think something like that would be possible. I looked at Kaori
変身を
quizzically.
解いた瞬間なら、変身するために回していた能力分、マインドオペレートへ使うことができる。本当に、その瞬間だけ。
I can harness the power I use to transform from hypnosis right after undoing my transformation. It's only for a
チャーム
moment.
に何かの時の保険で蓄積されてるものなんだけど、指令、説明忘れてたな。
Power accumulates in our charms as a failsafe. I guess the commander forgot to explain that to you. This is the first time I've heard of it, but won't it be hard for you to use it?
だから合図する。俺が3つ数を数えるから、3のタイミングでブースト
I'll
を使
just
って。
remember they have charms. I know hers is her necklace, and I know that Ibiku's is his earring. I believe Hyuga's is in his gun. I can't remember where Yukonami's is. I feel like I'm gonna sneeze. I didn't sneeze, but I still might. Alright.
その瞬間、
Right on that moment, I'll cast hypnosis to cover the entire research district.
もうあらかたの研究者たちにはマインドオペレートをかけたと思うけど。
I'm pretty sure I got everyone with mind break already, but better safe than sorry. Kaori grinned at me, and as I returned it with a smile of my own, let's do this. I'm gonna give it my all. Sounds good. Let's go. We grasped each other's hands and concentrated. Ni. San. Cast augment the second I heard Kaori say 3, and the bright light engulfed us. I gotta stay focused or I'm gonna pass out. Does this mean we're both using our full power? The sheer brightness of the light forced me to close my eyes. Carrie's hand gave me a sense of groundness, and I managed to remain calm. However, unleashing such a large amount of power was bewildering. The light shined for what felt like an eternity, but right when I started to feel anxious, it gradually faded away. Is it over? I could sense the light had disappeared, so I cautiously opened my eyes and saw Tokai.
見て
Tokyo. Take a look. Tokyo pointed at the researchers who had previously confused. They had all fallen to the floor.
大丈夫
Don't worry, they're just
Kyo-
unconscious. I was still reeling from the surprise as Tokyo went to check them one
マ
by
インドオ
one.
ペレートで強くて大きい認識の書き換えを行ったから立っていられなくなったんだろうね
My hypnosis overrides their consciousness, so I guess it knocked them out.
目覚めたらただ忘れてるだけだよ遺伝子操作の研究をやってたってことをね
They'll forget everything by the time they wake up. Well, about their genetic research, that is. So it's over.
終わりだ
Yeah, we did it.
あんな大技やるなら先に言ってくださいな。
If we're gonna perform such a powerful move, you could have told us first.
まったくだ
Seriously.
そんな余裕もなかったんちゃう？変身解けてしもてるやん。
He probably didn't have time. He's not even transformed anymore. Sina, Mocha, and Ro all began to crawl out from where they had been covered. They all hid. I'm sure the blinding light freaked them out.
ごめんモカの言う通り余裕なかったけど結果オーライだよね
I didn't have time to warn you, but all is well that ends well, Tokyo explained. It also matter-of-factly that we heard footsteps from the adjoining
今ので
rooms.
終わり香りじゃなくて時を
That's it,
体調は
right?
大丈夫
Korori, I mean Tokyo. How are you feeling?
ずいぶん派手にやったね。あれで終わりじゃなきゃ逆に困っちゃうんだけど。
You made one hell of a scene. I'd hate to hear that it's not over after
そ
that.
の通り変身が解けるくらい超能力は使い切ったよ
I used so much power, my
おかげ
transformation
で
came
計画
undone.
も成功したから安心して
But because of that, the plan
何
worked.
が成功なの？確かに見せ物としては面白かったけ
What
ど。
worked? That was quite a spectacle, but I suppose that's not what you meant. Neither Haruka nor the commander had responded to Tokyo. We all turned and saw. Moravia, why are you here?
モラビアですって。どこから入ったん？
How'd you get in? Sina, Mocha, Haruka readied for battle the second they set eyes on Moravia, but Moravia didn't move a muscle. She simply stood there calmly.
暇だったから来てみたんだよ。君たちのおかげで入るのは簡単だったしね。
I was bored, so I came to see what you were doing. It was quite easy thanks to all of
実
you.
際来てみて正解だった。さっきも言ったけど、
It's a good
見
thing
せ
I
物
did
と
swing
しては
by.
良かったよ。
As I said, you put on a good show.
見せ物ってバカにしてるのとりあえずあんたとはさっさと話を終わらせた方がいいことは分かった
Are you here to insult us? At the very least, we have unfinished business to take care of. Tokyo began to move towards Moravia, so I nervously called out to him. What are you doing?
俺はただモラビアに確認したいことがあるだけだよ
I need to check something with
どれ
Moravia.
だけ強くても単身敵陣に乗り込んできたモラビアの方が不利に決まってる
No matter how strong Moravia is, she's at a disadvantage coming here by
第
herself.
一あんたは戦おうと思ってない
Besides, you have no intention of
So
fighting, isn't
ま
that
あ
right?
そうだね。それで確認したいことっていうのは何？
What is it you wanted to say? Tokyo looked Moravia directly in the eyes and spoke
俺
quiet.
は今害獣が生み出される原因を断ったけど今存在してる害獣のことも忘れてない
I just put an end to the research project that created the kaiju, but I haven't forgotten the kaiju that already existed.
俺がもし害獣にとっても住みやすい世界を作るって言ったら
If I create a world that's good for
Anta,
kaiju as well,
kaiju
would you
ka-
stop attacking humanity? Good for the kaiju? It was certainly a surprising proposal, but not just to me, but to everyone present.
まさかそんなことを言ってくるとはね。
I didn't see that coming. An intriguing idea for sure. Moravia stared carefully at Takai's face as she took a moment to think. After a while, she spoke.
本気でそんなことをするつもりなら、君がその世界を作れるかどうか、し
If
ば
you're
らく見
serious,
守っていてもいいよ。
I wouldn't mind calling a truce to see what kind of world you
で
create.
も、人間は愚かな生き物だ。君がしたことは無駄だった。
But humans are foolish
すぐに
creatures.
悟ることになるかもしれない
You
よ。
might soon find your efforts are all for naught.
その時はまた俺が正すよ何度だって諦めない
I'll correct things again if I have to. I'll never give up. At first I was surprised by what Tokio said, but I quickly realized that I also felt the same way. I can't view the kaiju as the enemy anymore. I want to try and find a way we can all live together, just as Tokai said. I'm gonna keep saying Tokai, they're too similar. If we can accept that fighting kaiju is out of the question, then we may be able to figure out a solution where no one gets hurt. Even if comes a day where we think it was all for nothing, I don't want to give up without trying first. I stepped up next to Tokyo to show my solidarity. I won't let the same mistakes get repeated. I don't want there to be any more victims like Liz and Takai.
犠牲が出るのはもうたくさんですわ。人間と怪獣。
I'm tired of seeing such sacrifices both from humans and kaijus.
やれって言われても、もううちらも害獣に手は出せへんし、目覚めが悪いわ。
I won't attack kaiju even if I'm ordered to. I won't be able to sleep at night.
だね。それにここにいる全員同じ気持ちなら、ブルームズは機能しなくなる。
The blooms won't continue if everyone here feels the same. Sina, Mocha, and Haruka moved to stand next to me. We all exchanged glances, and I could tell if we were all on the same page.
この辺が落としどころだと思うんだが、まだ何かあるか?
If there's one thing we can agree on, is there anything else you want to know? Rose questioned Moravia, but she simply shrugged.
せいぜい頑張ってみて。僕もあの子たちを無駄に傷つけたくはないから、しばらく静観するよ。
Go ahead and try all you want. I don't want to see those children unnecessarily hurt, so I'll stand back and watch for the time being. By the time we realized that those children were the kaiju, Moravia had already turned to leave. Moravia, I promise I'll see this through, so please trust us and wait. I shouted this promise to her as she walked away, which caused Moravia to pause for a moment. Moravia turned and gave me the brightest smile I'd ever seen before she vanished.
静観するかしら。
I wonder will she truly stay
モラビ
quiet?
アはともかく、ヒューガや雪並みはどうなんだろう。
Not just her, but about Hyuga and
東京は
Yukonami.
どう思う？
What do you think, Tokyo?
モラビアは約束を守ると思う。聖観の中にはヒューガたちを抑えておくっていうのも
I think
当然
Moravia will keep
含
her
まれるだろうね。
promise. And when she says she'll stand back and watch, that must include Hyuga and Yukonami.
信じるんやね。
So you're saying you believe her?
あっちも俺の言ったことを信じてくれたし、期限付きかもしれないけどね。
She believed what I said, but she put a
で
time
も
limit on
俺
it.
はやるよ。その期限が来るまでには、害獣も俺たちも
I'll make sure to create a world where kaiju and humans can live freely before the limit is up together. I smiled at Tokyo. I said it right, and I still thought I said Takai while saying that, and he smiled back. That's exactly right. Aww. A few weeks later, as Tokyo said, the researchers who carried out the genetic engineering had their memories wiped. The research district was in chaos for a while because all the destroyed machines had to be cleared out. The commander and Ro treated it like a major accident happened, so there wasn't as much confusion as there could have been. Although it took some time, everything was back to normal. At least that's what the researchers thought. They all believed they were conducting research on improving the environment like before, so they didn't even know their data was gone. Tokyo had also begun to put even more efforts into his own environmental improvement research. He told me he wanted my help today, but with what I wondered. I wanted to contribute in some way, so I was glad he called me in. But he gave me no hints as to what I'll be doing. Oops, wrong button. You're probably in here. Yep, there he is. I peeked through the open door and saw Tokyo hard at work. Hey, Tokyo. Sorry to keep you waiting. I went inside the room and Tokyo flashed a big
そんな
smile.
に待ってないよ。ていうか、休みの日にごめん。
I wasn't waiting long. I should apologize for calling you out here on your day off. It's okay. You can call me anytime, and I'm sorry I haven't been able to help with much. So what would you like me to do?
それを言う前に、試したいことがある。
Before that, there's something I want to try out. Is that your charm? It's so cute! It was a charm he used. Oh,
ちょ
that's
っ
so
と待っ
cute.
てて。
Hold on just a second.
やっぱり変身はできないか。
Yes, I can't transform. Didn't you say you lost your powers? I was surprised Tokio tried transforming at all. He fiddled with a charm in his hand as he
完全
continued.
にはなくならなかったみたいなんだ。もしかしたら少しだけど、この状態でもマインドオペレートが使えるかもしれない。
It's not exactly gone. I was hoping I'd still be able to cast Mind Break even in this state.
香りの時に使ってたのとは比べ物にならないくらい弱いものだと思うけどね。
It'll be much weaker than anything I could cast as Kaori. You want me to use Augment to help? Tokyo nodded, confirming that my guess was correct. Exactly. But I'm not going to use it on a person.
植物にかける
I'm
んだ。
going to cast it on a plant.
催眠というか、ある種の暗示をかけるんだ。今の環境下でも成長していけるようにね。
It's more like encouragement than mind control, but aim is to help them grow even in their
あんたの
current
ブースト
environment.
があればうまくやれるんじゃないかと思ってるんだけど、どう思う？
I think it'll work. What do you think? That's amazing. What an incredible idea. I've never it occurred to me to try hypnosis on plants.
俺も超能力がここまで弱くなったからこそ思いついたんだ。
I only thought it because my powers became
そ
so
う
weak.
考えると、こうなってよかったとも言えるね。
So maybe it's not a bad thing after all. I remembered I still had something to ask. Speaking of which, why did your powers fade? The commander said it wasn't because we went to Iota, but both of you were worried about my powers. So I was wondering if it had something to do with my powers. It's just something I thought off the top of my head, but Tokyo heaved a big sigh in response.
その話もしたかったんだ。だからわざわざこんな休みの日に人がいない場所に来てもらったんだけど。
I wanted to talk to you about that today too. That's why I asked you to come here when other people's wouldn't be around.
あのさ、あんたは俺と二人きりでいても。
Do you feel anything when we're alone together? What do you mean? I started to realize how alone we were, which made me feel increasingly nervous. My face even began to burn, a physical proof of my feelings. How am I supposed to answer that? I was completely flustered, and Tokyo looked at me with concerned expression. He reached out and placed his hand on my cheek. His palm radiated warmth, enveloping me in a
あ
dizzy
んたはす
heat.
ぐに赤くなるから。わかりづらくて困る。
Turn red so easy it's difficult to
前
tell.
は表情に全部出るから楽って思ってたのに、今は肝心な気持ちがわからないんだ。
I thought it'd be easy to see because you don't hide how you feel, but right now I can't seem to discern the most important emotion. Most important emotion. I was confused, but Tokyo quickly changed the subject.
昔さ、俺たちみたいな超能力者が恋を
Is
し
it
た
my
んだ。
parents? Is this my parents?
男も女も超能力者で、超能力者同士
Or
の
his
恋愛だ
parents.
った。
Are we siblings? Is it our parents? They were both research district people. There were two people like us with powers who fell in love in the past,
Demo.
but
それはタブーだった。なぜなら、恋をすると超能力が消えてしまうから。
it was considered taboo because our powers vanish when we fall in love.
あんたは知らなかっただろ。指令もはっきり伝えてなかったしね。
I assume you didn't know. The commander didn't exactly explain it. While the new information shocked me, it's true the commander told me that romantic relationships were not allowed when I joined the Blooms. What happens to those
思い
people?
を遂げて超能力を失ったって噂だよ。
Rumor has it they decided to be together and lost their powers.
その話を聞いた時からずっとありえないって思ってた。
When I heard the story, I thought something like that would never
自
happen to
分に
me.
与えられた任務を思えば恋愛なんかを優先するはずがないと思ったから。
Considering the mission I was tasked with, there was no way I'd choose
Demo.
love first.
現実は違った。
But reality is different, isn't it? It's not a matter of
気
priority.
がついたら選ぶ暇なんてないくらい。あっという間に好きになってる。
By the time I realized it was already so head over heels, there wasn't really a choice. After hearing all that, I knew what he was getting at. No one would mistake it, no matter how dense they were. Are you sure?
俺の超能力が弱く
That
なった
doesn't even
の
look
は
at the
ね、
same boy. Why did you do
あ
this
んた
to
に
me?
恋をしたからだよ。
I've fallen for you. That's why my powers faded. She looks so...
でも、あんたは全然超能力がなくなる気配ないから、俺が一人で好きなんだと思ってた。
Her powers haven't changed at all, so I thought it was all on my
なのに
side.
俺が触れるとすぐに赤くなるんだ。
Why do you turn red when I touch you? How do you really feel, even though I was expecting it? He asked me the question so directly I hesitated a bit. Tokyo's in love with me. Am I falling in love? And falling in love made him lose his powers, but my powers are still here. My heart feels like it'll fly out my chest when you touch me, and I get so flustered when you look at me, but it's also comforting to be with you. Isn't that love?
なんで俺に聞くの？あんたの気持ちなんだから、答えはあんたが知ってるはずで
It's
しょ。
like my least favorite sketch of him. What? Why are you asking me? These are your feelings. All
もし
you
超
know the
能力が
answer.
なくなってないことが気になるなら、一度そのことは考えるのをやめてみてよ。
Being dramatic, Tokyo. If you're worried about losing your powers, then try to stop thinking about me.
歩夢の言うことが正解かもしれないから。
Ayuma might just be right about you. What did he
あんたはちょ
say?
っと特別なんじゃないかって指令に聞いたんだ。
Because my parents fell in love and had me, and then they were murdered, I'm assuming. I haven't got that far yet. We'll get there. Let's see. You might be special in some
指令
way.
は否定も肯定もしなかったから、結局のところ
Let's see. The commander still hasn't confirmed it either. So we don't know the
恋
truth.
をしても超能力がなくならない突然変異。自分のことをそう考えてみてから。
Maybe you've evolved to fall in love and not lose your powers, so try to think about yourself first. Evolved. I didn't think I was special at all, but Tokyo's theory made me want to seriously consider it. I looked back at all that had happened between us and realized the answer had been in front of me. I think I fell for you the day I realized I wanted to be closer to you. But love was the last thing on my mind, so it took a long time for me to understand what my feelings actually were. I think there's no mistaking it, though.
いまいち自信なさげなのが気になるんだけど。
The way you said it doesn't make you sound sure. Would you like me to try something? Try what? This.
嫌だったら。
After that, he gently tilted my chin upward. It was clear to me that what he meant. Even for a brief moment, I felt like running away. But that was purely out of embarrassment. I wanted to... Blah, 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 blah. I don't mind. Ah, snap. Ew, I don't want to read that. The sensation I never felt left before. No question in my mind. Almost skipped. Let's see. I love you. I just never felt this way before. It's new for me too. As we pulled apart, Tokyo whispered to
あんた
me.
とならこれからもいろんなことを知っていける気がする。それに何だってできる気がするんだ。
So long as we're together, I'm sure we'll experience so many wonderful things, and I know we can accomplish anything we put our minds to. So I hope that one
いつ
day
か必ず
we'll see it together, the real blue sky. We're not doing that. Top secret. Saving. Okay. Okay, so now we're gonna get the bad ending. And the bad ending, let's see. Is everybody gonna die in the bad ending? That'd be hilarious. All right, let's see. It's gonna start. It says, hesitated at the gate. I don't think she'll. Luckily, there was just a few. No. I was only partial if was successful. My face flamed with embarrassment. Where am I? Sweet smile. All the anger melted away. It's definitely after that. I think it was the first part in 3. No. Is it here? This might be the wrong one. Yeah. Okay, there we go.
何
Are you that guy? Or that girl? Sorry, my apologies. Cast augment. Mention collecting soil. I thought of Tokyo's conversation. I hope you'll be able to get some good soil samples. She was definitely right about that. Yeah, let's hurry then. Jeez. I mean, he was excited. I feel like that's not fair. Suggest a secret handshake. That's probably how I got the normal ending. He didn't like that. Cast augment. Just keep casting augment all the time. Yeah. But cast it again. Is that it? He wanted something that was like a person of action, and I'm just up here going like, do it. It'll be fun. Let's see. I was thinking about Takai. Well, Takai was turned into a vector, so of course I was thinking about him as well. Dang, look at those face. Oh, don't you feel like a monster when you say things like that? But my main concern was that you would suffer because of it. So yeah, I was thinking more about you than Takai in that moment. There we go. Cast that thing. All right, and then I need more details. What do you want me to do? I'd like to hear about it first. I questioned him energetically, and Tokyo took a moment to think about it. I can tell you, but I need another person. Okay. All right. I intend to put a stop to the research experiments. You're telling... Okay, we're going to skip this a little bit because... As shocked as well as he moved towards Tokyo to question his morals. You said you tried to get Commander and Ro to help us. What made you change your mind? That stopped me. Okay, so he doesn't get Ro or the Commander involved. That's why you called us here. The bad endings don't interest me all that much. All right, we must do this. Okay, so we're rushing it. Is that what's happening? But the top priority was to assist Tokyo, let's see. Interrupting him and argued my case fervently. Tokyo just sighed and finally gave in. We headed to the research. We stood in the front of the elder researcher who nodded in response to our questions. Yeah, that's right. You're only third generation psychics. You said you wanted to speak about our research into genetic engineering, but I'm afraid I haven't the foggiest idea what you mean. The researcher pretended not to understand, but Tokyo just responded to him quietly. There's no reason in hiding them. You genetically engineered the kaiju and are now getting us to kill them in order to hide the fact. You can't keep doing this. It needs to stop. I see. I don't know how you figured it all out, but you're clearly a threat. We didn't shake him at all. He backed us into a corner, shouted in incoherent directions. Take these two and bring them to the detention room. Getting kidnapped? Surrounded by lab assistants. Tokyo! Looks like peace was never an option. Ah, you're no use, my boy. You know you won't use your powers against us. It appears the reports were correct. You can't fight the kaiju after finding out that you truly are. How incredibly naive. I highly doubted you'll be able to harm other humans. We had no intention of backing down, but in the end, we hesitated for a split second, which gave the researchers an option to grab us. Don't believe you. I don't believe you. That's messed up. How in the world? How long has it been? They separated me in Tokyo and locked me in a room by myself. I have no idea how many days have passed. I strained my ears to see if I could hear anything and eventually heard footsteps approach. Thank goodness, you're all right. Relief washed over me, but Tokyo just moved towards me without saying a word. What's wrong? You've been let go, so doesn't that mean everyone came to help? I thought it was a good sign. He was here, but Tokyo didn't answer my question. He just untied my restraints and kneeled in front of me. I'm sorry it had to happen. Oh, hi! Hi, Trico. I'm sorry it had to happen this way. You don't have to apologize. It's partly my fault that things didn't go well. Did you manage to sneak in? Then let's run while we can. I can use my powers to break us out. Sounds good. Look at you being all streamy. I've been playing this game, which I'm sure you may have heard of, but I've just been streaming by myself and I'm cheating and getting all the endings because I like to get all the endings. I was gonna watch you stream tonight actually, but then I was already streaming and I saw you were on. Aww. How'd your stream go? Tokyo nodded and handed over his transformation charm. I felt better that he agreed to my plan and took it without suspecting a thing. I want you to cast Augment on me. I'm trying to beat this before Pokemon comes out. That's actually my goal right now. So I'm like, yeah, I'm on the third story only, and there's 8. So I don't think I'm going to be done by Friday. It's really sad. I want you to cast Augment on me. Just did a fun quick one. That's fun. Are you going to play any more spoopy games? I liked your last spoopy game. Stream both. This is one of those games that like I like to beat or I'll forget the story. I forget the stories real easy. If you've ever done these like little like dating stories, I forget them so fast. If I don't go through them really fast, I won't remember later. But aren't you going to transform? Is he going to make me forget who he is? I can still use some of my powers when I'm like this. I don't have the power to transform anymore. Please, something was off. An alarm went off in the back of my mind, but Tokyo sounded so earnest I couldn't refuse. All right, I'll do it. There. Da, da, da. I mean, I've been excited about Callisto Protocol. I've been telling everybody about it because it's made by Dead Space, and Dead Space is one of the scariest games I've ever played, so. Because I felt like I was really gonna die when I played that game. And we get a new Resident Evil soon. Thank you. What the? Oh no! I gotta take a screenshot. Everything went dark. Tokyo reached out and covered my eyes, and then the world started spinning. Gasp! I loved you. Did you know that? Tokyo's voice was filled with sorrow as he whispered in my ear. Why do you sound so sad? I'm happy to hear you say that. I struggled to fight my fading consciousness. I then finally realized what was happening to me. Tokyo must use hypnosis on me. But why? I wanted to ask him. Oh my goodness. Dang. This is the bad ending. You came in right on time. This is the bad ending. I had to cheat and get the answers because I was like, how do I get to the bad ending? I care more about your life than my feelings, so I will steal them away. Oh my goodness. Steal them away, my feelings for you and your memories. What I changed wasn't my usual hypnosis power, it was a wish for her happiness, which I then entrusted to her. After that, I snuffed out my first feelings of love. Gasp. Dang. That's such a sad story. Do you do these games? I like these ones, but they get very long. This one's different that I'm used to because you can get too many different endings, and it's not based on like their feelings for you. It's about actual choices, so that's why I have to keep cheating because I'm used to being like, get all the good answers, get all the wrong answers, and it's still not getting me the same endings or different endings or giving me the same endings. So I got all those endings now. Let's see. Let's see what photos I'm missing. I should have all his photos now. Except for this last one, which I don't have for any of them. That's fine. Dang, he just ruined my life. That's so sad. All right. Well then. Now the question is, am I going to start another story right now? Or take a break, which I might take a break because I'm tired. I ate between my last stream and this stream, and I'm still sleepy. Because it's almost 11 o'clock at night. But that's 3. There's 5 more stories now to go. And I'm trying to save my favorite guy for last. So I've been taking breaks. I played earlier today, and then I streamed 8 hours the first play of this one because they have the introductions, and the introductions take forever because they're introducing you to every single character and what's happening in the world. So that took forever, and then I kept telling myself I'd take a break, and then I didn't. So I took a break this time, but I'll probably, maybe, I don't know, because I want to play more, come back later tonight. But thank you for stopping in. I appreciate it. I hope you have a good night. And then I'll maybe continue this later tonight. We'll see. Bye.